Take out the end of the eye stripe. Crochet through. After the hook passes through the mesh, loop the loop, put it over, and you have crocheted in one stitch. The height is about 2 centimeters. Continue to crochet the second stitch. You can leave a grid empty in the middle. Continue. Because his lines are thicker. After finishing this row, switch to the next row. This method is very simple. The last stitch. Just cut it off after crocheting the last stitch. Just cut it off and it's done. Need to prepare the thread in advance. Take out the ball thread. Cut off this end first. Take out a ball thread. Pass through this lattice. Put this line through again. Make this loop. Cover the ball. The ball line is now ready. You don't need to hook every grid for the ball line. Generally, you should hook one every 2 to 3 grids. Look, our ball line is planted. Mixed color planting of milk cotton and mohair. First find the 2 ends of the milk cotton. Then take out the mohair. Align the 3 threads together. This is 7 centimeters per thread. Take out our spare thread card. Wrap the 3 together on this wire preparation card. Next, remove the wire. Cut the 2 ends of the coil. The wire is ready. You need 3 wires, 2 milk cotton and 1 mohair. The hooking method is the same as that of milk cotton. Fold it in half like this. After folding it in half, pass the crochet needle through the middle of the mesh. Put the loop on it. Drag the tail together. This way, a cluster is planted.
Take out 10 centimeters of mohair.
This is the side you use when preparing the thread. Wrap the thread around this side. Cut both sides. Cut the 10 centimeters thread. We take 3 roots. 3 roots in a cluster. Its planting method is the same as that of milk cotton. Hook it directly on it. Hook it on this mesh. This is how a cluster is hooked.
Making a ball of yarn.
You need a ball maker. Take out the ball maker. You don't usually need the largest one. Take out 2 of the same color. It has bumps and concave spots on it. Align these 2. After alignment, you can start winding the yarn. Keep winding the yarn until it is full. Fill the entire coil. After winding it full, we will wind another one. After winding the entire loop, fold the 2 in half. Button this. After buttoning both sides, cut the thread. Let's cut 2 more long lines. Cut 2 more long lines for backup. Cut the line from the middle of the seam. After all the lines are cut, take the spare line. The 2 lines go through this seam. Tie the loop tightly. Tie another one. Tie it again, and it will be tighter. After tying it well, open the button. Open the 2 buttons like this. Basically, the shape of the ball line is out. Use scissors to trim the excess wire. There are 2 long wires. We cut one side and leave the other side. Look, I cut this side. Then trim the rest. Just trim until it is rounded. Look, our ball of yarn is ready. We start by hooking the hook through the back of the mesh. Through it. Hook the end of the yarn ball to the back. Then pass it through a mesh from the back. Drag a thread over like this. Tie it to this wire mesh. Tie it tight and it's done. Look, a ball of wire is fixed. How are these tassels made? Take out our cards. This small white card is 7/10 cm. The backup line needs to be 20 centimeters long. Use this 10 centimeters long side to make it. Take out the card first. There is still wool. Then we will first join the lines. Wrap it around this short side. Wrap it like this. Cut it open. You don't need to cut both sides of the 20 centimeters line. You only need to cut one side. When we wrap the line, we just need to cut one side and it will be okay. This way you will get a 20 centimeters line. Get ready to start crocheting. The hooking method is the same as that of milk cotton. Take two first. Hook the two together like this. Drag the tail over. This part is hooked. After hooking, it looks like this. Find a small comb. Comb it open. It will look good after combing it open. It will become a thin strand. Comb it in another direction. It will all become this thin strand. 3 types of milk cotton. Take out the milk cotton and find its 2 thread ends. One is outside. The other thread end is inside. Pull it out from the middle. Align the 2 thread ends. You can start crocheting this circle. First, find the corresponding drawing and grid. This area is the crochet method of milk cotton loop. Take out the milk cotton. The first stitch is the same as coral fleece. Tie a knot first. After fixing it, we start crocheting. First, crochet a small loop and put it on the hook rod. Then crochet the milk cotton. Drag out a big loop. The height of this big loop is about 3 cm. Then crochet the second stitch, also through this mesh. Hook the milk cotton. Drag it over a small circle. Then put it on the hook rod. Hook the milk cotton again. Drag out the second needle. The height is the same, about 3 centimeters. Then crochet the next stitch. Remember that this small loop needs to be smaller. Then crochet the second stitch. That's it. Crochet this thicker grid line. Let's go up like this. Continue to hook down. Also hook on this thicker grid line. When you finish the last stitch, first cut this thread. Then drag this over. Pull this one first. Pull the excess thread behind the mesh. Look, this is how the circle is made. The second type is braid-shaped milk cotton. Find the 2 ends of this ball of thread, the 2 ends together. Tie the first stitch first. After it is fixed, we start to crochet. After hooking it over, turn a small circle. A small braid. Put the loop on the hook rod. Crochet through the next mesh line. Put the loops through the top. After crocheting, we continue crocheting. Generally, we crochet 4 times. After crocheting, we move on to the next row. Continue to crochet braids. Take the hook down and hook it up again. Pull the last stitch over like this. Finally, cut off all the thread. Pull the thread over. This will fix it. Pull the thread in behind the mesh and it will be okay. The third type, we need to prepare the line in advance. The line card is a 7/10 centimeters card. We need 7 centimeters. Wrap the line around the long side. Wind the coil. Cut off the thread end. Cut the ends of the coil. We got a 7 centimeters thread. Here are 3 threads. We take 3 threads. First, fold the milk cotton in half. Put the crochet needle through the mesh. After passing through, put this loop on it. Pull it over to form a small loop. Put the crochet needle through it again. Put this tail on this. Then tighten it. That's it. Plant more in the same way. Repeat it and it's okay. Remember to tighten it, and it's okay. Coral fleece and imitation mink fleece. Their crochet methods are the same. This division is shown in the line chart. We found the area of coral fleece. It corresponds to this position. Take coral fleece as an example. Take out a coral fleece and the crochet hook. First, pass through the mesh cloth like this. Pass through the mesh cloth. Put the thread end on. Then tie a knot in the first stitch. After tying the knot, we start to crochet the second stitch. After crocheting the second stitch, put this loop on the hook bar. Crochet the next stitch. The next stitch will be in the second row. Crochet directly to the second row. Put the thread on the hook again. Enter the first loop. Look, the second stitch has been crocheted. Let's continue to crochet the next stitch. After we finish crocheting this row, we can crochet the third row. Crochet through the mesh. When crocheting this coral fleece, you can leave 1 or 2 meshes in between. You don't need to crochet every mesh. Finish crocheting. Next row. Look, I have an empty grid in the middle. This loop does not need to be pulled too tight. Next row. Each stitch will be placed on this hook bar. Continue to crochet the next stitch. When you crochet, you can see this line. There is a thicker one on this mesh and a thinner one. Every time we hook, we always hook on the thicker one. The order of hooking. I usually hook in a row like this. Hook it up again, then hook it down again. Hook it in rows like this. Hook it on this one every time. On the thick grid. When you do the last stitch, hook it in the same way. Hook a loop and put it on the hook rod. Cut this line. Pull the line over again. That's it. The end of the line passes through the back of the mesh. Put it on again. Pull it to the back of the mesh. This ending is the same as the beginning. Pull the thread to the back of the mesh. Finally, the hooking method of imitation mink and coral velvet is the same.